Get ready. Helena Hustle is now live. Here, we will showcase successful leaders in business, athletics, healthcare, and all things that make Helena a great place to live. Join Dr. Daniel Bridge, owner of Endurance Chiropractic, as he searches out amazing individuals who are making a tremendous difference in this place we call home. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be inspired with the Helena Hustle podcast.
Ron, thank you so much for coming on to Helena Hustle. How are you doing?
Just fine.
Good. I know you weren't so sure if you had your two truths and a lie ready. Are you ready?
Not really.
Okay, good a time as any.
Okay.
What do you got for me?
Well, I graduated top in my class.
Okay.
I was in the military. I'm a veteran. I did not go to Vietnam, even though I was in the Vietnam era, just out of sheer luck. And I've been married for 55 years. I have 2 children and 3 grandchildren.
Gosh, these are all tough. I'm going to say that you have not been married for 55 years. Is that the lie?
No, that's not the lie.
That's the true, huh? What was the lie?
The lie is I didn't finish top in my class.
Oh, dang. Close though, right?
No.
So you're in the military. What branch did you say? Army.
Mm-hmm.
And how was it that you didn't end up going to Vietnam?
Well, I had orders to go to Vietnam, and I'd gone to Oakland and had my last meal, jungle fatigues, the whole ball of wax.
Wow.
And we got up the next morning, and the president had put a freeze on troops.
Wow.
And they turned around and sent me and our whole group to Germany.
How did you feel when you got that news?
I wasn't too concerned about it because I was a young guy.
Right.
I didn't have fear. I didn't see myself running around a jungle shooting people because that wasn't my training.
Okay.
And but I wasn't disappointed. But I called my wife and I says, "Well, I'm not going to Vietnam. I'm going to Germany." So
she was probably happy.
She was happy. Yeah. My parents were happy. I'm not sure her parents were happy, but so I went to Germany, and it took us a while to save up, but we brought her over.
Oh.
And so we lived on the German economy and had a great time for a couple of years.
The Army wouldn't pay for your wife to come out to join you? Wow.
Well, I think you had to be a certain rank.
Okay.
Given a couple more years and more rank, they probably would have.
Is that still the case today?
I don't know. I have no idea.
My brother-in-law is in the Army, and their family was in Germany actually at Nuremberg. Is there a base there?
I don't know if there's a base there, but I mean I definitely know of Nuremberg.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot of small bases in Germany.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or there used to be.
How was your time there?
We had a great time.
Yeah.
I mean, every weekend was, let's go see this castle. Let's go see that castle. Let's go over here and see this. Let's go over. We had no children at that time, so we were free to travel.
Yeah.
We bought ourselves a brand new Volkswagen.
Really?
And
cruised around the German countryside. Yeah, that's amazing. Did you eat some schnitzel?
Oh, geez.
How was the German food?
German food was awesome.
Pretzels, right?
Well, it didn't really matter. I mean, it didn't matter if it was pizza, hamburgers. They just did things different, and it was awesome.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, the schnitzel was our favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, we loved that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And then congrats on 55 years of marriage. What's your secret?
Do what she says.
That'll solve all
happy
the
wife,
problems,
happy
right?
life, kind of a deal. Yeah.
Yeah, well, congrats, 55 years. When was your anniversary?
It's actually the day after Christmas.
Okay. So
we were married in December 26, 1968.
Okay, so this will be 55 this year.
Right.
Coming up on 55.
Right.
Nice.
Right.
I'm sure you got something super special planned, right?
Not really. It's
your
on
wife
Christmas.
Won't watch this, right?
We've never gotten her a wedding present or an anniversary present in our life because they just include it in Christmas.
Right. Okay. There you go.
So advice: don't get married around a holiday.
Right. Yeah. Huh. I'm coming up on my 14th, but that doesn't sound that impressive next to 55.
No, we do well.
Yeah. Where did you grow up, Ron?
From Livingston, Montana.
I'm realizing I didn't really give you an introduction. This is Ron. He owns Stefanos Pizza and Sub on Last Chance Gulch.
You're correct.
Yeah, 41 years in the business.
Right.
And 25 years at that location.
Correct.
Great. And I want to get into that in just a second, but sorry, you grew up
in Livingston, Montana.
Livingston. Okay.
I was born in Billings, but I grew up in Livingston.
Okay. And how did you meet your wife?
We went to school together. She was 2 years behind me in school.
Okay.
And
did you date in high school?
yeah, we dated, and just towards the end of high school when I was getting ready to graduate.
High school sweethearts.
Yeah.
Great. And what brought you to Helena?
Well, I'd already lived here before, and my daughter was born here, and then I transferred out, and when I lost my job in Spokane, so we like Helena.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to Helena.
Yeah.
So that's what brought us back here.
What were you doing in Spokane?
Well, I went out there originally with Conoco Oil Company.
Mm-hmm.
I was a corporate manager, and they wanted to send me back east, and I didn't want to go back east.
Mm-hmm.
So I left them, and I went to work for Burlington Northern.
Mm-hmm.
And then Burlington Northern started closing shops.
Mm.
And if you didn't have 30 or 40 years seniority, you were out the door pretty fast.
Dang.
And because they were union shops.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we going to do?
That had to be a pretty scary moment.
Yes, it was. But I did luck out. They had to pay me for a year.
Oh, that gives you some time.
I had, I just didn't like go on unemployment instantly.
Mm-hmm.
So we came back here and got this going, and we lived off the railroad until we had the Stefanos somewhat established.
So that's right after you left Spokane, you came and started Stefanos.
Correct.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Within a month or two.
Oh, okay.
Because I had to come back and find a place to rent and remodel it. And
okay, so tell me about that. Did you just start from scratch?
yes.
Okay.
Well, when I worked for Conoco, I had 7 stations, and I'd opened several of those 7 stations. So I kind of knew how to get things done with the city and the county because, it wasn't all brand new to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was not ever in the food business.
Mm-hmm.
And these U-Bake pizza shops were all over Spokane,
Mm-hmm.
and we were a fan.
Like a Papa Murphy's type?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we were fans, and
Mm-hmm.
we thought, well, that's pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a complex situation. So that's why we chose that.
Mm. Wow. Did you and your wife like to cook? Was that like a passion?
No. In fact, our biggest argument is, what are we going to eat now? Because we're working with food all day long,
Yeah.
especially her.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so you come back a few months later. Tell me about that process. Where did you start out, and what did the business look like then?
We started out at 925 Euclid, and
Which is where?
out
What's
across
there now?
the street, kind of from what used to be the old Pizza Hut, the Hofbräu. There was a building there on the corner.
Okay.
And we went in there, and the landlord gave us use of half the building.
Mm-hmm.
So I built walls and did everything that I could do legally. You can't do your plumbing or your electrical yourself, but designed everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually got a loan from an aunt for $9,000. And that's kind of how we started.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was in Spokane trying to get our house sold.
Okay.
And I brought my oldest child, my son, here. He was in 1st or 2nd grade at C.R. Anderson. And we would sleep on the concrete floor
Oh, wow.
in the business. Because people that had that business before us, they were Myri Sign. They put the big billboards up.
Okay.
So it had an existing shower and bathroom because those guys would come back all full of glue.
Okay.
And they would shower and stuff before they went home. So we had the facilities to shower and do everything at the business there. And we did that for a few weeks until my wife got her house sold.
Just for a few weeks.
Yeah, it wasn't too terribly long, but the floor was hard. Cement.
That's I love hearing about the sacrifices people are willing to make in order to get their dream off the grounds.
Mm-hmm.
And to make it work.
Yes.
Very cool. And was it strictly U-Bake at that time?
All we were selling at that time were U-Bake pizzas and small subs.
Okay.
We didn't have any seating.
Okay.
I mean, the building was 1,200 square feet. We probably had 600 of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just walk in, order a pizza, order a sandwich,
But you did not make the pizzas in-house?
No,
or you couldn't
we
cook
put them together,
Yeah.
but we didn't cook them.
So that $9,000 loan that your aunt
Mm-hmm.
gave you, what did you buy with that?
The biggest thing was our pizza prep table. That's the big table that when you walk into our shop right now, we still have it.
Oh, nice.
I mean, we still use it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been repaired a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but that was probably about 3,000 or 4,000 of the 9,000.
Wow.
And it was a big expenditure, and the rest of it was just do what you could do to keep things going.
You didn't have any ovens though or anything. Your
No.
subs were just cold subs.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as recipes, where did you figure that all out?
Just off kind of the top of our head.
Some experimentation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I mean, nowadays you can go on the internet and see whatever has the best reviews, but it wasn't really like that.
Right.
What year was this in?
Well, we started it would have been 1982.
82.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I mean, I cheated. I can remember going down to Spokane and sitting in my car with binoculars, looking at what I could see that they had posted. You know,
For what?
like
for
the
menu
pizzas.
items?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the menu items so much, but the pizzas. Like, okay, how many pieces of pepperoni do I put on that? You know, how big of a cup of sauce do I put on it? You know, that kind of thing.
Oh, I love that. You could have even gotten a job there for a few days.
I probably could have. Yeah.
Okay. This is cool. Okay. So, and then tell me, how did it go those first few months, getting everything advertised and getting people aware?
Yeah, it was tough. It really was. But we were getting paid by BN a little bit, you know, and it was really tough. But we survived, and we worked 7 days a week. You know,
Wow.
we went in first thing. We stayed till closing. You know, that sort of thing.
You and
Just
your wife.
myself and my wife. And the kids would walk to school because CR was only like a block and a half away, and they just play in the back room in the afternoons, and we'd all go home together, and that was it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thinking back to that time when you're getting the business off the ground, does that evoke any emotions for you?
No, not really. I mean, I had big dreams. I could see myself having 10 of these things, you know, in 5 years. It didn't quite work out that way. Yeah. But
Well, you've been around for 41 years, and that's definitely saying something.
but we didn't have a bunch of locations, you know.
Sure.
But it all turned out fine.
Yeah. So you were in that spot for
4 years.
4 years, and then what happened?
Our landlord actually went bankrupt, and they found somebody to buy the building, but the guy that bought the building had other plans for it, so we had to get out. We moved over to the Knoxville building, 1900 North Main, which is just 2 blocks away from where we are now.
Oh, okay.
And we were in there for 10 years.
Okay.
We had a signed lease, and so I didn't want to go through it again, so I had to remodel again and get things set up. And that time we did have seating, and then we expanded into soups and roll-ups and salads and steaks. And
What's a roll-up?
a pizza roll-up is we just take a flour tortilla shell, we put pizza-type ingredients in it, heat them up, roll them up like a burrito, and they're a warm item.
That sounds good.
They're very popular.
This was at your last location or your current?
The last location.
Okay. So you were there for 10 years?
10 years.
Okay.
And then the people that owned our building that we're in right now, they came and asked if we'd like to move down there
Oh, okay.
when our lease was up, and we told them yes. So that was the third location, and went down and remodeled that. And then, of course, we were in there for like 10 years or 12 years, and they wanted somebody to buy it. Well, we couldn't afford the whole building, so we asked them if they would be willing to break it up like a condo.
Yeah.
And so we bought our section. Nichols bought their section.
Okay.
And then there was a couple other businesses on the far end at that time that bought their section.
Okay.
And so that's how we ended up where
Okay.
we are.
Okay.
And now we don't have to worry about a landlord
Right.
having problems and wanting something from us. So
Yeah, you're your own
we're our own
boss.
now.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. And tell me about the business now. You have seating in there. How many people can fit in there?
I think legally, I think 56.
Okay. And you have ovens.
We have an oven, but we only use our ovens for cookies.
Okay.
And cheese bread and that sort of thing.
So the pizza is still
you bake.
You bake, but the pizza roll up is not.
Right.
You do cook it.
Correct.
On a grill.
We don't really cook it on. We do have a grill, but we don't cook it on a grill. We have steamers that we make them on a tray, sit them in the steamer, and they'll warm up and melt in about 15 seconds.
Oh wow, that's nice.
So we can make a lot of them at one time. They hold 2 each, and we have two steamers. So technically, she can do 4 at a time.
Okay. And do you serve hot subs?
We do hot subs. We have like meatball sandwiches and barbecue sandwiches, and then of course we do the steaks. We got cheese steaks, pepper steaks, mushroom steaks, that sort of thing.
I should have eaten before this because that's making me really hungry. I'm excited. I'm going on Wednesday.
Okay.
Or this week for sure. And you said your favorite's the steak.
I really like mushroom steaks.
Cool.
I enjoy them, but there's a lot to choose from. I mean, the customers can tell us how they want every sandwich made.
Oh, really?
Made. So it's not like they go in there and they say, I want a number 12. They say, I want this, and it's custom made for them the way they want it.
And you bake your own cookies, you said?
We bake our own cookies, and we make cheese bread and garlic bread and bread sticks. And that's just in a small oven off to the side. Yeah.
Very cool. So, you see restaurants come and go. It seems to be a tough industry. You've been doing it for 41 years. If somebody came up to you and they wanted to open up a restaurant here in town, what advice would you give them?
It's a hard one to answer.
How come?
Well, I mean, like you say, the failure rate's really high. And I used to go ballistic. I shouldn't say ballistic. I would really fret when somebody else was opening a restaurant. Oh, here we go. Business is going to go down. Oh, geez, what are we going to do? But I'm kind of past that. I don't even pay attention.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody tells me a restaurant is good, I'm gonna go try it.
Right.
I mean, there's not too many places in town that I haven't tried. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like. But I don't really know what I would tell somebody. I mean, it's just you're really buying yourself a hard job because it's not something you can just have somebody else handle for you.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you've got just tremendous faith in them and they're a stand-up person.
You're pretty much married to the job, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then weekends are big because you get people traveling around.
Right.
So you're working weekends a lot of times.
We are pretty lucky that way. We have a lot of family work for us.
Okay.
My wife's brother is our main manager. He runs the weekends and evenings. And my daughter's the other manager, and she's there during the day, and then, of course, my wife and I. Yeah. And we've got a couple grandchildren that have worked there. We've only got one working there right now, and back in the day, my son worked there.
Okay.
And I have a sister-in-law that works there.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of people
keeping it in the family.
Trying to kind of watch out.
That's good.
It's not, you're not there every minute, but still.
Yeah. So one thing Stefanos is known for is their customer service. And can you tell me about that? How do you culture that? How do you train everybody on that?
I just kind of have the attitude that the customer is always right. And, unless it's just an obvious scam.
Sure.
I just let it go and, give them their money back, remake it, do whatever. I don't get into arguing with my customers.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Right.
And we try to get our employees to be the same way. And we try to instill upon them that if you don't like it this way, don't expect them to like it that way.
Sure. Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, you've created such a warm environment there. and I'm really looking forward to trying a mushroom steak sub. If somebody wanted to do business with you, what's the best way to do that?
Just a telephone call and ask for me.
Do you do orders?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, people can order on the phone?
People order on the phone, and they can't really order online as such, but probably 50% of our business is coming through the phone.
Gotcha.
They're calling, ordering ahead, so it's usually hopefully made by the time they get there. And they just come in, pick it up, and take off.
And do you do deliveries? We
have a cafe courier.
Okay.
They do deliveries for us. The customers call Cafe Courier. Cafe Courier in turn faxes us a menu.
Okay.
Or not a menu, the order.
Order, yeah.
We put the order together. Cafe Courier comes in and picks it up and takes it to the customer.
Okay. And what about events? Do you guys do any catering?
Kind of, sort of. We don't consider ourselves. Yeah, it is. Like a couple weeks ago, the highway department got through with their fiscal year, and they have a kind of a big party for their employees, and we just made a lot of sandwiches and took all that stuff up to them. But we're not catering like setting up tables,
sure,
that sort of thing.
Yeah, cool. Well, great, Ron. And your address is what?
2100 North Last Chance Gulch.
So you're on Last Chance Gulch, pretty much right across from the UPS store.
UPS store and Little Caesars.
And right next to Nichols Casino.
Yes, correct.
Cool. All right, Ron. Well, hey, thanks so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Okay, well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the Helena Hustle podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Once again, thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the Helena Hustle podcast.